In the quiet shadows of Myanmar's lush landscapes, where communities once thrived in harmony, now lies the haunting silence of abandonment. These deserted villages, homes left in haste, tell a story not of what is there, but of what is painfully absent. Under the cover of night, a Rohingya family makes a harrowing decision. With little more than the hope for safety, they flee the only home they've ever known. Each step away from their land is a step into the unknown, driven by the fear of what would happen if they stayed. How did the Rohingya, one of the most culturally rich communities in Myanmar, come to be recognized as one of the most persecuted minorities in the world? In the late 1970s, the government of Myanmar launched what was officially called Operation Dragon King, ostensibly aimed at registering citizens and expelling foreigners. Its declared purpose masked a far more sinister impact on the ground. Among the many ethnic groups in Myanmar, the Rohingya, with their rich cultural heritage and deep historical ties to the land, found themselves in the crosshairs of this operation. What followed was a campaign that stripped them of their citizenship, rights, and, for many, their homes. The plight of the Rohingya has since gained global recognition as a severe human rights crisis. International organizations, governments, and activists around the world have condemned the systematic persecution faced by the Rohingya, highlighting the urgent need for a humanitarian response. But to truly understand the depth of this crisis, we must delve into the origins of Operation Dragon King, the international silence that often surrounded it, and the unyielding spirit of the Rohingya people in their quest for justice and recognition. The Rohingya, an ethnic group primarily Muslim, have been part of Myanmar's mosaic for centuries. Their language, traditions, and labor have contributed significantly to the cultural and social fabric of the country, particularly in the Rakhine state, where they have long-established communities. However, the landscape of Myanmar began to shift dramatically with the rise of military rule in the 1960s. A series of military juntas took control, significantly altering the nation's political and social dynamics. It was within this context that Operation Dragon King was conceived. Launched in 1978, Operation Dragon King was officially aimed at registering citizens, to create a comprehensive national census and expelling those deemed as foreigners. Yet, beneath this veneer of bureaucratic procedure, the operation had far-reaching and devastating objectives for the Rohingya. Under the guise of citizenship verification, the operation became a tool for systematic persecution. Thousands of Rohingya were stripped of their citizenship, rendering them stateless within their own homeland. Many were forced to flee, while others faced unbearable conditions as their rights and dignities were systematically eroded. The roots of the Rohingya crisis lie deep in the soil of Myanmar's complex history. Understanding this past is crucial to grasping the relentless challenges they face today and the resilience with which they meet them. The aftermath of Operation Dragon King for the Rohingya was catastrophic. The operation not only stripped them of their citizenship, but also marked the beginning of a relentless campaign of human rights abuses that resonate to this day. Statelessness became the stark reality for hundreds of thousands of Rohingya, denying them not just a nationality, but the rights and protections that come with it. Absent citizenship, they were left vulnerable to a myriad of human rights abuses. But behind the numbers lie individual stories of resilience and despair. Rohingya refugees, now scattered across the globe, share tales of violence that forced them from their homes, the destruction of their communities, and the hard labor they were subjected to, often without consent or compensation. The culmination of these injustices triggered a mass exodus of the Rohingya, seeking refuge in neighboring countries. This migration created one of the most pressing refugee crises of our time, with camps in Bangladesh and beyond straining under the needs of the displaced. The international response, while significant, has often been hampered by political complexities and the lack of unified action. Despite global condemnation and aid efforts, the crisis persists, leaving many to question the effectiveness of international mechanisms in addressing such deep-rooted human rights issues. The plight of the Rohingya, a consequence of Operation Dragon King and the policies that followed, is a stark reminder of the devastating impact of statelessness and systemic persecution. Their stories, marked by loss and resilience, call for a concerted global effort to address their suffering and find lasting solutions. As we turn our gaze to the present, the situation for the Rohingya remains dire. Inside Myanmar, the remnants of their communities continue to face severe restrictions and the constant threat of violence. Abroad, in sprawling refugee camps, life is a daily struggle against uncertainty. The challenges are manifold. Access to education is limited, healthcare facilities are overstretched, and opportunities for meaningful employment are scarce. For the Rohingya, every day is a fight for survival, dignity, and a semblance of normalcy amidst profound displacement. Yet, amidst these hardships, there are beacons of hope. NGOs, international organizations, and a network of Rohingya activists tirelessly work to improve living conditions, advocate for rights, and press for the recognition of the Rohingya on the global stage. From the heart of the crisis emerge stories of resilience and activism. Rohingya leaders, both within and outside the camps, are fighting for their community's future, advocating for education, healthcare, and the right to return home safely. Their efforts, supported by the global community, aim to not just survive, but to rebuild and thrive. The plight of the Rohingya today is not just a testament to their endurance, but a call to action for the international community. It is a reminder that the fight for justice and recognition is ongoing, requiring the collective effort of all who stand for human rights and dignity. As we've journeyed through the harrowing story of the Rohingya, from the depths of despair to the glimmers of hope, one thing becomes clear: the importance of global awareness and empathy cannot be overstated. The Rohingya crisis is not just a distant tragedy, it's a test of our collective humanity. Supporting reputable NGOs working tirelessly on the ground is a direct way to make a difference. These organizations provide essential services, from education and healthcare to legal advocacy, offering a lifeline to those caught in the crisis. We also must urge our governments and international bodies to apply pressure on the Myanmar government. It's imperative to advocate for the recognition and protection of the Rohingya's rights, pushing for a future where they can return home safely and live with dignity. The resilience of the Rohingya people, amidst decades of persecution, stands as a beacon of strength and perseverance. Their struggle is a reminder of our collective responsibility to stand against human rights abuses wherever they occur. Together, let's raise our voices, take action, and ensure that the cries for help are not just heard but answered. In the face of adversity, the spirit of the Rohingya people burns brightly. Their culture, resilience, and community stand as a testament to the enduring strength of the human spirit. From the makeshift schools educating their children, to the continuation of traditional crafts and celebrations, the Rohingya are not just surviving, they are preserving a rich heritage against all odds. Around the globe, a movement of solidarity is growing. Individuals, communities, and organizations are coming together, united in their support for the Rohingya. This global action, rooted in empathy and justice, is a powerful force for change, driving toward a future where human rights are upheld for all. As the sun rises on another day, let it remind us of the new beginnings that are possible when we stand together. The journey towards justice and dignity for the Rohingya is long, but with each step taken in solidarity, we move closer to a world where every voice is heard and every life is valued. Together, we can and will make a difference.